Okay, welcome everyone to round 4 of the Trackstars TS3 series around the beautiful Autodromo Autodromo International, something like that, Monza. I'm not.
I'll mention it. You could give it the nickname of the Temple of Speed. That would be an easier way for the English pronunciation. But yes, we are here at the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza, well known as the Monza circuit. So it is the Temple of Speed. But yes, as my colleague was having a bit of a tongue twister there, it is round 4 of the TS3 Championship, ladies and gentlemen. So 4 rounds. It's gone flying by, DJ. We've had some amazing battles from the top 2 guys in Warpath 360 from the WRT Motorsport entry, and from Sirik, who was formerly in the Intercontinental Esports racing group, but now has ventured off into a privateer team, and maybe he might be getting himself maybe a drive, maybe thinking about getting a drive for next year for one of the big teams.
Yeah, we'll wait and see what comes with this, and we got Gordok here. Gordok needs to reduce his power.
Always those little niggling things that we have going on, but
yeah.
we have set powers for our cars here, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new to the stream, welcome along. But the regulations for our TS3 championship is it's basically 3-car championship, a Honda Epson NSX 2008 model. And you got the Nissan Xanavi Nismo GTR 2008 model and the Lexus Petronas SC430 2008 model. Only tyres available are the racing soft tyres only. There's no tuning allowed in the series. Damage is turned off, so it's as simple, just jump in, do a qualifying, do 2 races, and enjoy the rest of your night off from 4 p.m. till 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. But that'll change in the next couple of months. We'll head to back to daylight timing. So for the Queenslanders, they'll have to race an hour later, but for us, we'll be racing back at the same time at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, it's been it was a late addition to the series, obviously, but we thought we'd include all the slower drivers. Not necessarily the slower drivers, the ones that don't have as much experience and can't really like get as much speed out of the car as what other people can. But we do have the regulations as per the Discord. So if you're not as fast in the Porsche GT3 around Spa, we have a cutoff time of 2 minutes 21, and we also have a driver rating of B. So if your driver rating's under B and you're under 2 minutes 21, this series is definitely not for you. So we got all these drivers in here. They're all reasonably pretty close to each other with times and stuff like that. We obviously do have Sirik and Warpath that are probably the 2 standout drivers, but they have had Sirik's had a bit of a rough run at Suzuka, but yeah, so we have a good turnout because I think we had, what do we have? We had 6 in the first round, and then we jumped to like 12 in the next round. So that was a good showing. So
yeah, I think we've had consecutive weeks, like 2 weeks in a row of 14. So this is our second time that we've had about 14 drivers on the track, so which is amazing to see from all of our drivers. So it's really great to see, great turnout, great support for the TS3 in its debut series in 2021, and hopefully for bigger things in 2022. But as we get underway for qualifying, these drivers have 8 minutes to get the lap right. You'll be looking at a lap time at about a 1 minute 40s, 1 minute 42s, around that range. So we'll have to wait and see what our drivers can do, but the fastest guys will probably get themselves into that probably 138, 137 marker.
yeah, I was just running around in the Honda, and I got a 138.5 or 6 or something like that. But then Sirik actually pipped me in the Nissan. So if you get it right, you can get a really low 138. But as we know, the timing of like the speed of the car changes between practice and qualifying in the race. So I'm expecting a high 137 around here from Sirik and Warpath. So we'll wait and see what these drivers have in store for us.
Exactly, and these guys are limited to, or have 40 litres in their cars, so they'll definitely get them around for a 9 lap straight. No pit stops, no anything. They can just go flat out for the next 9 laps and for the next 6.5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. So as we get our qualifying underway, We've got, as we've mentioned before, our championship contenders for the Track Stars of TS3 after round 3 back at Spa, the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. We had Warpath 360 leading the championship of 438 points, only 6 points ahead of Cyric in the 98s, and the difference between first and second is 6 points as well. It's 6 points in the championship and 6 points when it comes to getting the extra bonuses of winning a clean sweep race and getting a clean sweep in second. So things can change at the end of this round, DJ. But I think going off by momentum and with his 2 round wins in a row, I feel like Cyric might be able to make it 3 from 4.
Yeah, well, actually, he got round 1 and round 3. So round 2, he finished 4th. Yeah, round 2, he finished 4th. So that was a bit of a rough one there. So unfortunately, he got 132 points in round 2. So if he did finish overall second in round 2, he would be on top. So he's got two clean sweeps at the moment, but unfortunately, he's a little bit of a poor performance at Suzuka kind of cost him the championship there. But as you said, we got 6 points, but we do also have 2 drop rounds included as well. So the least scoring, 2 of the least scoring rounds for the drivers end up being dropped. So say you get 150 points here, 130 there, and then you get like say 50 points. So that 50 points will be wiped away, and then you'll just be sitting on 300. So that applies to all drivers, and it does get included in the final result. So you could be sitting first or third, and then all of a sudden you could jump to say second or first, including with the drop round. So anything is possible, and with these cars being so close together, anything is possible with any car really. So unfortunately, Matsumoto didn't end up joining the lobby, so we don't have a Honda on the grid, which is unfortunate. So maybe hopefully
we're definitely waiting for the day when we see the Honda NSX make its debut at TS3, but that'll come hopefully within the next time that we come racing around at TS3. But as we lead across the line, it is TTV Vossi that's going to lay down the benchmark time for the fourth round of the TS3 championship here at Monza. We've got himself into the 1 minute 40s there, with Warpath 360 getting himself into the 1 minute 38s nicely there, with Cyric actually going 7/10 clear ahead of Warpath. So just like as it was in the Circuit of Spa-Francorchamps, it's still these two leading the way, and we know that Cyric has got pace under his Nissan GTR, and so Warpath is definitely going to have to find something within the next 4 minutes time.
Yeah, it's a rough one, but as we see here, Warpath is in the slipstream of Aussie here, so this may, or just as I say that, he's gone 1/10 faster than Cyric. So
he's gone 1/10 faster, but he's being held up massively by Vossi there. And as we see down the grid in 4th place there, we see, well, I thought it was Renegade there, but that's Gordek again. So WRT Motorsport putting in the good deeds with their drivers, and they've had a bit of a colour change from the last time out. So they've gone a little bit of that high vis yellow and black combination, which is quite a nice look for their cars, and it just means it's pretty serious business. As we see Renegade 4701 in 5th place there, with KPL for the Kiwi pit lane, as we'll say, Baseman in 6th place, Ozsol Reaper in 7th place, also sporting his new look Lexus there, with Betstick 7 in 8th place, SLM Kazu, and this was a guy that stood out pretty well from the last time out in Circuit of Spa-Francorchamps, so he'll be looking to move his way up at least onto the 2nd row.
Yeah, it's it was a real standout at Spa, but as we know, drivers don't like this track. Drivers like this track. It's either gonna look after you or it's gonna spit you out. So
he's coming across the line. He's going to come into 6th place, so definitely not enough. It's the 3rd row, so it's not a bad start for the Red Mist Racing. I did say I thought it was EBM Motorsport last time, but he confirmed with me that it's called Red Mist Racing from his team back in the Sector 1 community, so he's managed to get his team from Sector 1 to Trackstars and represent his team in TS3. It was like SLM Kazi in 8th place, while still leading the way is Sirik in 1st in the 98 with Warpath 360 in the number 360 in 7th place. But it looks like Warpath has closed the gap a little bit, but it's definitely not enough here. So Warpath just has to find a little bit extra in his Nissan, because it looks like now Sirik's got the tow from TTV Vossi there. So if the Warpath had the tow from Vossi, but now it looks like Sirik's going to get the full advantage of it come towards the end of the lap. And let's just look towards the delta time as he gets to the Variante Ascari corner. Is he going up? No, he doesn't, but he's only just a fraction down from his fastest lap there. So this tow right behind me looks like he's just drifted a little bit wide through those corners, and he's gone wide on the exit there, so that's going to cost him massively. So he'll just need to recharge, think about his next lap, because he's only going to have one more lap to go, and hopefully secure pole position for the second race running.
Yeah, we'll watch Warpath to see what he comes through here, because I did see he might have been on a good time, so just wait for him to come across the line. Oh, it's a 39.6, that's unfortunate there, so he doesn't improve. So he's got one more shot. Vossi improved himself there for 139.6, and Sirik went 139.8, so he lost a lot of time running wide in that third chicane. But you got to be careful, because if you either cut it too tight or if you run too wide, you will get a half-second penalty. So these drivers know that, they know where the burn zones are, so if they cop a penalty, they got to burst.
Sirik got a little bit tail happy there, would have lost at least a couple of tenths coming out of that corner, because this corner is really important to get the best exit as possible. As you see, almost dipped the wheel on the gravel there, so good save there by Sirik, but that's going to cost him at least a tenth and a half coming down towards the Variante de Rogia corners here. So it looks like he's cut quite a fair bit there. Hopefully he doesn't get a half second from that, because that looks pretty expensive. There you go. So that's game over for Sirik. He's not going to be able to improve his time, so we'll have to definitely keep an eye on Warpath 360 there, as we see Big Red U of A improve himself up into 5th place there. So that's a nice showing from our American driver in the ICE Racing Group team. So let's look towards Warpath 360. He's actually up on his time, only 0.2 on his fastest lap, but not enough to topple Sirik from pole position here. He needs to get a good exit over Ascari. He's got a beautiful exit coming off the Ascari corners, and this is one of the most crucial corners up to the end of the lap, the Curva Parabolica. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got to brake nice and early. You've got to brake nice and deep, so try and hook the inside and put on the throttle as early as you can. Hug that inside corner, get yourself quite close to the pit entry wall there. Is he going to improve his time? Can Warpath 360 take pole position? He improves, but he doesn't get it. He's only about 0.192 behind Sirik there. So advantage goes to Sirik yet again. What about Renegade? 4701. He's going to come up right behind his Archie's rival in Oz Soul Reaper. So these two will be pretty close to each other, both in 6th and 4th respectively. So let's look at Oz Soul Reaper as he comes across the line for the final time. Can he get himself onto the second row? Will he be able to snatch a front row off his teammate in Warpath 360? No, he doesn't, and neither does Renegade, but he actually drops down to 6th place, because KPL Baseman has toppled him, has overtaken that 6th place. So nice work there from the Kiwi pit lane boys. There's a really good stuff there, but as we've said plenty of times, Gorda has actually moved up a few places. Kazi hasn't been able to improve his lap there, unfortunately. SS Boys got himself into the 1 minute 42, so hanging around the backfield of the track. Ice Benja 19 getting himself into 10th place, which is nice. But as we know, a familiar name DJ Sirik in 1st place with Warpath in 2nd.
Yeah, it's a nice showing there from Sirik, and that I'd like to be in Sirik's car right now, because that gives him that little bit of an edge there. So fingers crossed we can get a clean run through turn 1. So it wasn't a briefing for these races to take care into turn 1, but anything is possible. So these guys have not as much experience as what the other races have. So we'll see what the start of the race has in for us. So.
Exactly right. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are here live on free on the Trackstars Racing Series YouTube channel here at the Temple of Speed, Autodromo Nazionale di Monza Circuit. We have for the 4th round for race 1 of the TS3 Championship, it is Sirik in the number 98 on pole position, with Warpath 360 in 2nd, with TTV Vossi in 3rd place, Renegade in 4th, Big Red UFA in 5th, KPL Bassman in 6th, Gordock 69 in 7th, and Oz Soul Reaper in 8th place as we wait for those lights, and it's lights out, green flag racing. And Sirik looks like he's got a bit of an excellent start there. I thought it must have bogged down a little bit, but in that second phase, got himself the perfect launch there, with Renegade getting himself a nice launch there as Howard Driver's coming in through to turn 1 as we look down towards the back. Oh, I must say, DJ, it is looking really nice. It's looking really clean as we see a driver go push wide there, and Renegade gets spun around there. So I thought it looked clean at the beginning, but it looks like just that second phase into the chicane always catches people out, and they just think, well, if we put down too much power, then yep, you're going to go for a spin there. So that's very unlucky for Renegade, and that's going to hurt his charge moving up towards the front 4.
Yeah, it looks like it was
all the way down to 13th there. So
it was kind of escorted a little tiny bit there from Rossi. He got on the inside of the curve, and he kind of tapped the rear end. So unfortunate there for Renegade. So just put your helmet back on, mate. Put your head down, and just try and fly back to the field. As Big Red cops a half-second penalty there. So hopefully he burns that in the right zone, and he did read the briefing. So we'll see how that goes. But until then, it looks like as we go again, Sirik and Warpath 1 and 2 fighting for the championship. So
exactly right. So Sirik leading the way at the coming towards the end of the first lap. Sirik in first, Warpath 360 in second, TTV Bossy in third place. Probably, like you said, may have probably escorted Renegade a little bit wide there, but I have a feeling that with Renegade's incident, he may have put the throttle a little bit too much there. So it might be considered a racing incident if the throttle was put down by Renegade, but time will tell come towards the briefing, come towards the stewards report within the next week, as we see SLM Kazi for Red Mist Racing up into 6th place from 9th place. So that's a nice little charge, nice opening lap for him, with Soul Reaper staying in 7th place. NZL Cowboy has come really far away from 12th on the grid up to 8th place. He's looking to make a move, and also Soul Reaper for 7th place. And this is a great start for the M&R boys. So the M&R boys have been a little bit quiet since their first round back in the first round back only a month ago. And as we see Soul Reaper have a little bit of a wiggle there, and he's dropped himself all the way down to the back of at least to the back end of the top 10. As we see that replay, just too much power, and these cars are really heavy beast, DJ. If you plant your foot down, that car can almost go around in circles, and he's actually dropped down to 12th now. So it's just going from bad to worse. We know Soul Reaper and Renegade are two heated rivals, but I mean they dropped down to 12th and 13. They can't keep at least they can't be able to hold themselves up in that top few spots within the opening lap.
yeah, maybe the pressure might get to them, but maybe the inexperience for the cars possibly. I'm not overly sure. What's going on here? Base, see if I can get that on a replay.
Oh, what's happened there? Did KPL baseman get caught up on something there?
I think he just got on the outside there, spat him into the wall. So, and then what's going on here as well?
Oh, Soul Reaper's gone off as well again. So loss of action here, ladies and gentlemen, here at Monza. So as we see that replay, what happened to Soul Reaper? He's just gone too deep there. So so it's just going from bad to worse from Soul Reaper there. He was high up as 7th place, all the way down to last place, stone dead last. So, and he's just come out of that corner, and he is well down the order, and he's well down the back of the field. So that's his race over for race 1 here at round 4 TS3. Renegade looks like he's going to start making moves pretty soon. But as we look back towards at least I want to see what kind of gaps we've got between 3rd, 4th, and 5th, because we see Kazi now move himself back up into 4th place, and he's done himself a really nice job. He's actually battling with Benjo 19, so this is a nice little battle for Benjo 19 and for SLM Kazi. Side by side they go through to the chicanes, to the Valianza to Roggio corners, and Benjo's going to come out on top. He's just caught the sausage curve there, and I mean, unfortunately for the ISR team, and for at least for some of the WRT team boys, they're not able to get their cars pointing straight here at Monza.
Yeah, it looks like they're not experienced with the amount of power that these cars put down once as soon as you get on the gas. So, but with the non-tuning, we can't actually control how high or low the cars are. So the aim of these ones is to stay away from the sausages, because as we've seen, then you can hit the sausage and then it can just bounce you out. So Stay away from the sausages, kids.
Exactly right, but yeah, but it looked like it was going really well for Benjo. But look at that! Look, if you look down in 5th place, NZL Cowboy from 12th place to 5th. That's a really nice charge there for SNZL Cowboy. My apologies, and in the number 128, he's doing a really nice job for the M&R boys, and his teammate in Benstick 7 in 6th place. So this is a great showing. Finally, we're able to see the M&R boys, the Mobile Network Racing, show their true colours here at Monza.
Yeah, it's a good showing here by them, and obviously it just shows that if you just stay out of trouble and then just put your focus on your racing, have a few battles here and there, you obviously will end up going back through the field. So put your best laps in and you'll end up going through, because we'll have just what happened then with Benjo, just simply making a little tiny mistake there, and then that's another position there for Cowboy. So you just pressure. All he needs to do here is just pressure Kazi, and then we'll see if he makes a little mistake there.
Well, that's right, because it's all about not trying to make moves through the corners as much as you can. I mean, yes, you can make a move, but you just have to learn how to make that move stick, because like we saw with Benjo 19, that if you do hit the sausage curbs, then it will really spit the car out, and it's not going to be your best friend. So just try your best to stay away from the sausage curbs, like you've said before, and just try and take those inside lines and just try to avoid it and make sure you get the curbing. And then in a way, for NZL Cowboy, get yourself up into 5th place, challenging for 4th. So, and even with his teammate in 6th place, so that's something really good. As we see Sirik, I thought he was going into the pits for a second. No, he actually went for a fastest lap there. So that's a nice little showing there. He's put 1.5 over Warpath 360. So definitely these two are the big standouts in the debut of the TS3 Championship, Sirik and Warpath 360. But we have to give another shout out to TTV Vossi, who last time out at at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, he put himself right up in the top 4, and he just had that terrible start where he just bogged it, he just jumped the start, and he just dropped it all the way down to last place in that first race. And in that second race, he managed to improve all the way up into 5th. So it's a learning experience for Vossi, but he's getting the hang of it, and he's so far doing well on the podium.
Yeah, and obviously that's a very impressive looking car there that Benjo's done. So it's a standout there, and he's new to the series, but he's obviously making it known that he isn't here to muck around. So he will be there to take on the likes of Sirik and Warpath as well. But obviously a little bit of mishap on the first lap there has just extended that gap from Warpath and Sirik. So I think, granted we're on lap 5 of 9, it's a possibility that as the positions are, possibly down here it might change. Or as we see Benstick take a little bit of a...
He's gone a little bit into the barriers there. As we see that replay, did he get an escort through that corner? He looked like he was a little bit slow coming through here. No, it was actually all by himself there. So as I see him coming through the second Lesmo, he's got the inside line, but just too much throttle, and just, yep, that's all it takes, DJ. Just a little slip of the gas pedal, and bang, and look where he's now, down in 12th place, right behind his teammate in SS Boy 82. So things are just, it's a race for everyone just to learn, I guess, because everyone's making mistakes in this first race. So second race, hopefully, will be a lot cleaner for these drivers.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And exactly as we were saying then for NZL Cowboy, look at where Renegade is. He's sitting in 8th now. So that first lap mishap there on the turn 2, he dropped all the way back down to 13th, and now he's finding himself in 8th, just simply from, I wouldn't say incidents, I'd just say a bit of driver error here, and he's going for the move on KPL baseman for 7th. So hopefully he can pull it up coming into turn 1, and he goes really
looks like it's gone too
wide.
deep. Oh, and that resets him. So, yep, that's what you get. Unfortunately, when you cut that corner, yep, the game penalises you, and unfortunately, that's reset him, as we see as well. Gordic 69 cuts the first chicanes here at Monza, so the very end of the Reticulio corners. So, so 2 cars just cutting that corner and just getting not getting the reward they want, as we see SS Boy 82 actually move up into 9th place, but that might be 10th place as Gordic thinks about making a move in the Rogier corners. Rogier chicane, does he make that move stick? He does. SS Boy, just tail happy on the car, but it gets a little bit of a boost from Big Red of A. There's just a lot going on, DJ. This is crazy to catch up. As we see Bensing really go ambitious there and cut the corner there. And he's actually taken that position of Big Red UFA there. So I wonder, maybe you, as I like to say, like a live steward, you might have to tell Benstick to readdress that because that's not on.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough one because I think Big Red also did make a bit of a mistake there, so he didn't actually take the position. There's a lot of going on here. Yeah, he didn't actually take the position while he was off track, but obviously it's a bit of a muchness. So I might leave that one for the stewards there. But yeah, it's a bit of a muchness because yeah, Big Red did make a little bit of a mistake there, and he was really slow coming out of the corner. So I can't really tell him to readdress that when it was, in a way, both drivers' faults as well. So as we see Benjo jump up into 6th as well. Cowboy and Kazi having a nice little tussle
Cowboy
here.
has actually overtaken, finally been able to overtake SLM Kazi, so nice showing from M&R's, looks like #1 driver, but he's actually not #1 in the championship. As we look to see SLM Kazi outbreak, he holds his line, but Enzo Cowboy with the switchback of Dreams, and my goodness, that torque on the Lexus got him so much power on the exit of the Rettofilio corners. The Rettofilio chicane there, and he's done an excellent job to promote himself into 4th place. But in the championship, he's only in 6th place, and he's only 18 points behind Renegade, who Renegade is now in the top A's, and his teammate in SS Boy 82 and ISA Benjo 19 only 45 points behind. So the midfield in the championship is going to be really interesting, even with Soul Reaper down there. As we see SS Boy 82 go for a bit of a spin there, one of the first Lesmo.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
replay. Oh, he did. Yep. So he got a little bit of a push there from Big Red. So definitely not what SS Boy 82 wanted. Well, like I was saying, he was in 3rd in the championship, tied on points with ISA Benjo 19, but he's definitely going to be losing that 3rd place off Benjo. So, but like I was saying, the midfield pack between 3rd and 6th place is really heating up, and any driver can possibly get themselves up into that top, at least into that top 6 with one little mistake, like what he did, like what SS Boy did. Anyone can get those positions. So we see KPL Baseman think about making it, goes for a think about an outside move, make a late switch to the inside. So KPL Baseman, nice driving there, nice awareness there from KPL Baseman. The Kiwi pit lanes, #1 in TS3 in 6th place, with ISA Benjo 19 dropping himself down to 7th, with Renegade right behind him in 8th place. As we see Benjo think about getting the run there, taking the outside line. It's a little bit risky. You got caught on the sausage curbs, Benjo, so try not to hop those curbs again. As we see, just runs it a little bit deep, just goes for that defensive move. And
that was a very nice move there.
Nice racing there, boys. Nice racing from Benjo, KPL, and look at Renegade. He was definitely about 5 tenths behind it. Look where he is now. He's definitely 2 car lengths behind ISA Benjo 19, his teammates. So these guys will be battling on thick and fast. At least coming up towards the Ascari corner, Benjo's going to have to go really defensive to try and hold that Nissan GDR in place there, but he's not taking the defensive line there, so that's an interesting tactic from Benjo. As you see KPL Baseman go for it inside, he's done it nicely, so great racing from these guys, and looks like they're just getting used to the car, and it's looking really nice there. So 6th place is pretty good. The battle for 6 is really good, because I think the battle between 1st through to 5th, I think there's really not much going on anymore. As we see Derek starting his final lap here at Trackstars TS3 for round 4, the gap's actually stayed quite stable, to be honest, DJ. Well, last time I picked up on these guys, it was about 1.5 seconds, and it's hanging around that range there. So Warpath and Cyrix are pretty good pace-wise, but I think Cyrix just got his number today.
Yeah, and obviously you can see, Cyrix done a 39 flat, 39.1, 39.6, and then he did have a little bit of a slow on a 40.1 and a 40 flat. It's kind of same lap times, but opposite. So Cyrix did those lap times early, Warpath was a little bit slower, but now Warpath is starting to get a little bit faster. So unfortunately, I think the slower lap times, as much it would be, say, half a second or so, really has shown. So you know as well as I do that the more time you make up early is the more gives you a bit of a more of advantage later in the race. So
Exactly right. And as for the final time through the Parabolica corners, it is Sirik in the 98 going to take the first race in the Trackstars TS3 Championship for round 4 here at Monza. So congratulations to Sirik and Warpath 360. So nice driving by those two guys. Really competitive drivers in those two. We see TTV Vossi take his first podium here in Trackstars TS3. So that's a nice little reward for TTV Vossi. And looks like Kazi looks like it overtook Enzo Cowboy there, because Cowboy was hanging up in 4th, but it looks like he made a mistake. And Kazi will say, well, I'll take 4th place. So a very nice showing there from the Kazi one in the Red Mist Racing in the number 10 for 4th place. Nice work there. And Enzo Cowboy, the fastest M&R Lexus driver, in 5th place in the number 128, with Renegade actually promoting himself up into 6th place. So that's a nice little recovery drive there from Renegade DJ, from all the way from last place to 6th. So he will be very happy with that, but he'll be very disappointed about that first lap.
yeah, obviously it was a very nice drive there to get back to 6th, obviously when he did drop back down to 13th, but as we were saying earlier, if you just put your head down and get your laps in, anything is possible, which obviously we can see there from Renegade. So hopefully he can get a good start coming into race 2 and then take it to the guys up the front. So, but at the moment it looks like it's a bit of a Nissan GDR fest. So congratulations here to Sirik, taking victory for round 4, race 1 around the beautiful Autodrome Internazionale Monza. I can't say it because I'm too Aussie. I can't get that Italian twang to it.
I'm sure you can just say it in English. You'll be right. I think everyone's going to forgive you. Most of us are Australian here in the chat anyway. So, but but no, that was a really nice race there, and it's just a little bit spread out. But as you can see in the gaps wise between first through to 4th place, the gaps, or first through to 3rd, the gaps were really spread out pretty much from Sirik, Warpath, and TTV Vossi. So congratulations to those top 3 drivers, just putting a class against the rest of the field there, with SLM Kazi in 4th, NZR Cowboy, the fastest M&R in 5th, Renegade, a nice solid recovery drive for him in 6th, with Isar Benja holding his own in 7th, KPL Baseman in 8th, Gordic 69 in 9th, and Big Red UFA in 10th place, with Ben Stick 7 in 11th. Oz Soul Reaper, what could have been for Oz Soul Reaper, so hopefully he'll be charging through in race 2 at Monza, with SS Boyd, the last of the runners, in 13th place.
It was a nice showing there. As I thank you, Michael. I'm not one with very fancy names, as you. I don't know if you were here for the race around Spa, but I definitely couldn't say some things around that. So it's good to see that people are teasing me for being Australian, but no, it's great to see the how can I put it? The personality of some of the people is very good to see. So glad you can have a laugh at my misfortune. But yeah, no, that was a good race from all, and very nice comeback there from Renegade. So that was nice to see. But
yeah, absolutely. Well, Renegade's definitely got a lot to prove in this second race, and hopefully he might be able to even challenge drivers like Vossi in 3rd place. So he'll be one to watch out for in the second race if he doesn't make any mistakes like he had in his first lap. But I don't think, like I said, I don't think it was all all by himself. I think he may have been escorted, but maybe that'll be something for the stewards to look at if anyone puts a report in or not. But otherwise, it was pretty good. It was a really nice recovery drive from Renegade. So as we
yeah,
get ourselves ready, we're going to give ourselves a 5-minute break for the beginning of race 2. So stick around, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back with you shortly for a race 2 here at Trackstars TS3 round 4 at the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza for the Milano Sprint. And so stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back shortly.
Okay, welcome back everyone to the round 4 of the TS3 series. We just finished up race 1. We are going to go racing very shortly for race 2. Just want to make sure the settings here right. Tyre wear and fuel. Okay, because it wasn't off in qualifying. But hello, Michael Papanikolaou. As your PSN would be, V Papa AT. I can't just simply say it because I'm not Italian or of a European background. So I've got a very Australian twang to some things that I say. So thank you for pointing out that I'm retarded. But yeah, Spuddy's setting up the pre-qualifying lobby. So if there's anyone here in TS2, the pre-qualifying lobby will be up very shortly. So as we go very shortly here for race 2, when it's spectating wants to go, just waiting for the lights to go green. Should be counting down. Here we go. We got the red lights coming on, and we are live for race 2 of the Trackstars T3 round 4. Beautiful start there by Sirik again. But we'll see if Warpath can go for a move. So Sirik does do a nice little defend. Oh, as we see Kazi go a little bit deep into turn 1. Oh, nice, not too bad. A bit of a kerfuffle there. Everyone's out alright. Everyone's out fine, so Big Red UFA did drop down to the back, but unfortunately, and Warpath did overtake Sirik on that little kerfuffle.
So Warpath 360 making a move on Sirik there, so that's interesting. And everyone looks like they've just sort of navigated there, but looks like Warpath got himself the better traction of compared to Sirik. So Warpath will take the lead now. So now it's his turn to lead the race here at the Monza circuit here, with Warpath 360 leading the way. Sirik hopefully stays in second place at the end of the replay. Yes, it does. With SLM Kazi in third place, when we see TTV Vossi dropping himself all the way down to 6th place there. So not the start that he wanted from after a podium position in that first race, down to 6. He's got a lot of work to do, but Isar Benjo 19 is ahead of him, his teammate in the Lexus, and Vossi's in the Nissan. So definitely, and well, you can see Isar Benjo, Vossi, Renegade 5th, 6th, and 7th there. So they're the first runners of the ISAR group. As we say that, Benjo 19 has just escorted him very wide there, so he's definitely not happy of how he's managed to get that far wide at the exit of the Scary corner there. As we catch that replay, whoa, just too much speed, Benjo, so that's not definitely what you want. So that's just going to drop all the way down the back. He's right behind Osol Reaper as we see yellow flags here at the Ascari corner. That's quite an interesting corner, has caused a yellow flag there. And what's happened here? TTV Vossi has actually got himself a little bit too deep there. Or was he escorted by Renegade there? As we see that replay, does Renegade... Whoa! Renegade starts to take out his teammates. So the teammates in Ice are Racing not having the best start here for race 2, ladies and gentlemen. So Renegade taking out his teammate in Vossi, and Benjo slipping all the way down to the back of the track there. So what's going on with ISAR, DJ?
I'm not overly sure there. Like that was a bit of an ambitious move there by Renegade, but Renegade did redress that. So that's very, very good sportsmanship there from Renegade. So if that was me, I wouldn't penalise him for that, because he has just penalised himself. But that's obviously the respect that these drivers have. So he's caused the incident there, and he's let Vossi go. So unfortunately there for Vossi involved in that, but I guess that's racing, as we say. So
yeah, exactly. Well, it's definitely not Vossi's fault that he had that accident caused on himself. As we see, looking back up the front, SLM Kazi is overtaken Sirik there. So unless Sirik had a half-second penalty to burn, no, he didn't. So did he go a little bit too...
Oh no!
Oh, he got reset. No way. Sirik, what happened there? That is unbelievable. It's like his rear brakes just faded and just disappeared. That was crazy. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that in these cars before. That's amazing. I mean, not amazing if you're in the driver's seat of Sirik, but not for a spectator.
Amazing to watch.
That was epic to watch. That's so crazy. Wow, I've never seen that before. But I'll tell you what that has done. That's promoted Kazi up into second place, and he'll be. And we know Kazi's a fast driver, DJ. So I wonder if he's going to make a challenge for Warpath 360 for potentially his first win in the Red Mist Racing. As we see Big Red UFA make a move on Ben Stick there, so he's made that move very nicely. So Big Red making the moves early on as we see Ben Stick coming towards a fight back there. A little bit of pushing and shoving there between the two drivers there. So a little bit of argy-bargy there, but Ben Stick is not giving up on this position. He's down in 7th place. Can he get himself up into 6th place? Or is he breaking a little bit too deep? And whoa, drivers taking each other out. What is going on here? As you see the two go side by side, just banging wheels, banging into each other there. As we catch that on board there, so nice little pick up there, DJ. We just want to see what happened. Looks like he's just moved over, and ooh, that's a hard one to judge, DJ. I'm not so sure how the stewards are going to view that.
Yeah, oh,
and there's still
like a bit
going
of retaliation here.
And this is retaliation, and this is definitely not what you want, ladies and gentlemen. So retaliation, braking, brake checking is definitely not what you want. So that is a no-go, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm sorry for Ben Stick there, but if he's doing retaliation like that, he's going to have to probably be disqualified come the end of the race here. So that's definitely not what you want to see, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's not something we promote in here at all, and we do take appropriate action here, so with disqualifications and stuff like that. But Shirik fighting back here with Kazi.
Looks like Kazi, he's not been able to close up to Warpath there, so he's got 7 seconds actually, so that gap is huge. So that mistake that Shirik made is a very costly one, because if Shirik gets held up by Kazi, Warpath is only going to be able to increase his championship lead here. So, and if Shirik gets 2nd place, that gap will still be a 6-point gap difference between those two drivers. So it's very heated. It's a very exciting championship for those two guys. As you see, Kazi run a bit wide, and Shirik does take 2nd place there. So waiting for the opportunity for Shirik just before the corners there, and he's done really well there to get himself up into 2nd place. As we see KPL Baseband doing a nice solid drive in 4th place for the Kiwi Pit Lane Nissan GDR there, with Gordok 69 in 5th place, Oz Soul Reaper in 6th place, with Isar Benjo in 7th. We've got NZL Cowboy, who've had a great first race, but his second race a little bit quiet there, in 8th place, with Big Red UFA in 9th. SS Boy 82 in 10th place, TTV Vossi making his way back up through the field in 11th place of what could have been, but unfortunately his teammate took him out there, with Renegade 4701 in 12th, and Ben Stick 7th, last place in 13th place with the big penalty coming over his head. But look, we'll leave that for the stewards. But now, leading the way at the commence of the 5th lap, it is Warpath 360 over Shirik and SLM Kazi, the top 3 for race 2.
It's a beautiful, these top, say, 6, 7, 8 drivers, they've started to do really nice moves. Obviously it's the ones at the back that have started to kind of get a bit, maybe the pressure from them might be getting to them and making these little tiny mistakes. So we'll let the stewards deal with what they have to. So we do encourage people to report incidents and let stewards have a look at it, stuff like that. So we don't appreciate people taking that kind of action into their own hands and stuff like that. So we will take appropriate action, give you warning, stand you down, stuff like that. But other than that, it's been some pretty nice racing here in the round 4 of the TS3. So jump back here, there's a little bit of a battle.
As we see NZL Cowboy get actually overtaken there by Big Red. So Big Red moves himself up into 8th place, with Cowboy dropping himself all the way down to 9th place. So what was looking for a great first race for Cowboys is now, I guess in a way, it's coming back to reality. I guess all those mistakes that those drivers made in that first race, they're not making too many mistakes in race 2, and I guess in a way that kind of puts M&R back in their place in the lower half of the top 10.
Yeah, it might be just a simple, say, driver inexperience around the track, not having much experience. I'm not overly too sure, because they don't have to worry about tuning. Oh, that's a rough 1.5 second penalty there. So a nice burn there by NZL Cowboy. That's no,
very nice.
yeah, that's no penalty there, so that's very nice by him. But yeah, they dropped all the way back, and Vossi's about to take 90 from NZL Cowboy. So beautiful switchback move there from Vossi. But yeah, unfortunately got spun on that one. So fingers crossed he can work himself up to say 6th or 7th. Maybe 6 might be a little bit too far, but if these teammates keep fighting it out.
Yeah, but it looks like Big Red's just trying to give Benjo a bit of a push there to try and close the gap to Soul Reaper there. So I think probably the best that TTV Vossi can probably get up to is we're up into 7th place, but time will tell because we see Cowboy and Vossi having a bit of a battle there, so who knows. But we are lap 6 of 9, ladies and gentlemen. We've only got ourselves about 3.5 laps to go, but it's still leading the way. He's all par 360. He's got a healthy 7.6 lead over Sirik at the 98 there. But we saw back earlier, we saw Kazi and KPL having a nice little close battle between each other there. But now it looks like it's extended. The gap has extended massively. It was about 0.7 from when I last saw. Now it's about 3.8 there. So it looks like Kazi's just held his own. He might be able to keep sixth place there, but we've only got about ourselves 3 laps to go, and hopefully for these drivers to be able to keep it clean. But the one driver looks like to make a move is Gordok69 in 5th place there. He looks like he's getting really close to KPL Basement, and he actually has done so. He's reeled that gap in very nicely. The new updated livery for the WRT Motorsport, a very nice livery that the WRT boys have managed to put out tonight. So it looks like he's going to hang out wide through the parabolica corners and just try and get that slingshot move up on KPL Baseman's rear end. And looks like he's getting himself right tucked up into the slipstream. Is he gonna be able to get himself late on the brakes and pull up towards the Retivilio corners here? Can he make that move? No, he doesn't. So very nice awareness driving from Gordic. He knows he's too far back, and he's just going to hang back for the next few corners.
Yeah, it was a nice run there, but unfortunately he didn't get close enough. And he did do the smart move and just pull back in behind Baseman there. So tuck back in behind, get a little bit closer, and make the move on the back straight into the other chicane. So that's very nice there. And as you see, Baseman make a little bit of a mistake there. And as I was saying,
as they go through the first Lesmo corners, they're going to go side by side, and Gordok's actually pulled the move on the outside. What a move from Gordok69, the WRT. Excellent move there. Does KPL have an answer for that in the second Lesmo? No, he doesn't. So he's going to hang right behind Gordok69, but wow, DJ, and an epic move there by Gordok69.
Yeah, it was really nice to watch there. And if you've got the courage to, you make it on the outside. Which is what Gordok just did. So it's not recommended, but it's definitely a move that's there if something does happen. So it was a very nice move there from Gordok.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to have the full faith in the driver that you're racing with that they're going to give you the outside move. So there's definitely a lot of drivers that'll just take the corner, but at least for Gordok and KPL Baseman, they have good respect for each other, and they're now in 4th and 5th place there. So he's about 3.5 behind Kazi, but I think Kazi's starting to make a few little mistakes there. So if Gordok keeps the pace up, he might be able to close in on Kazi come towards the end of the race there, but I feel like Kazi might be able to solidify 3rd place there. So we see Gordok 69 in 4th place. As Kiwi think about making a move there, and he's just tapped the inside of his car. He's gone from a far way back there, so that's a really ambitious late move by KPL. So not what he wanted, and looks like he's just dropped behind him. And yep, he's just given up that decision. Just given Gordok a bit of a gap, the same kind of gap that was left before. And yep, resume racing for those two guys. It's going to be an epic battle for 4th place. He can Baseman again. That's not the first time he's made that mistake in the Rogier chicane there. So he's taken too much speed into the first part, and that second section just runs too wide. But another driver he's going to have to keep his eye on is the 3rd entrant in WRT, and I'll Soul Reaper, so he wouldn't be too far behind. If he says yes, keep making mistakes, Baseman, and I might be able to get closer to you. But Benjo here again in 7th place. I think that's the second 7th place for Benjo 19 there. So a nice little solid weekend for Benjo 19 in 7th place, with Vossi now back into 8th place. So I wonder if Benjo's going to give Vossi the spot, or maybe these two will fight it out to the end before the end of the final lap.
I'd like to see what the go is, but I think Bossie's a little bit faster here, so I wonder if he can get close enough to Benjo to make that move. But Benjo is a fast driver, but he does, as we've said previously, he does make a little bit of mistakes here and there, which does cost him a little bit of time. So he's a little bit off the pace of the likes of Sirik and Warpath, but if he just gets a little bit more consistent, hopefully we'll see Benjo up the front in the coming races. So
exactly. Well, he looks like he might be able to hold third place in the championship at the end of this round, because it looks like, because we see SS Boy 82 all the way down there towards the rear of the field, so it looks like he might be able to overtake him in third place in the championship. So that's a nice little reward for Benjo. Absolutely. So as we commence our final lap, ladies and gentlemen, it is still Warpath 360 leading the way for the WRT Motorsport. Has a look back there, but look at the gap there. That's closed massively between Sirik and Warpath. So Sirik has been on a mission to try and catch up to Warpath. It was about 7 seconds from when we last called it. It's now down to 2.5 there. So Sirik's been really putting the hammer down. He's going hammer time on Warpath 360, but it's not enough, DJ, because we see Warpath 360 is going to take the win here at the Milano Sprint, and will still keep his championship lead.
yeah, and that lead will extend to, I'd say, about roughly 10 points or so, because they will be on the same amount of points, but Sirik will take the round because he did qualify in front of Warpath. So I think, if I'm correct, they may be even on points.
They will be even on points, but Sirik will take bragging rights first place because he got pole position. So really close driving, and congratulations to Warpath 360 for taking out the win here at Trackstars TS3 here at Monza, with Sirik in second, Kazi a nice podium position for him in third place, with Gorduk 69 holding on for fourth place, KPL Baseman in fifth, Soul Reaper in sixth. Vossi actually managed to overtake Benjo for seventh place there, so nice little recovery drive for Vossi after that first lap incident with his teammate in Renegade. He's actually gone into ninth place, with NZL Cowboy in 10th, Big Red UFA in 11th, SS Boy in 12th, and Ben Stick 7th in 13th place there, with a big question mark over his head about that incident with Big Red. So that'll definitely have to be looked at. Not so sure if that's going to be, if that's reported or not, but if it's not reported, it did look like a bit of retaliation there. So I think the stewards might just have to take that on board regardless. But as we get ourselves towards the victory page here, it is a big congratulations to Warpath 360 for the WRT Motorsport. So Warpath and Sirik leading the way in the TS3 Championship, with Warpath taking bragging rights here for race 2 at Trackstars TS3 for round 4 for the Milano Sprint. So congratulations to all three podium drivers there, with Warpath leading the way, Sirik in second, and SLM, the Kazi one for Red Mist Racing in third place.
Yeah, it's a nice performance there, but I think if Sirix is on 150 and then Warpath is on 144, granted that they are 6 points, they're 6 point different in the championship, that will then take them to being on the same points in the championship, because there's a 6 point difference in the championship. So that might be a little bit of an interesting one there.
That might be interesting, I think. Well, I would think that they would be level on points, because Sirik won the first one and Warpath won the first, but they both swapped positions in those two races. So they'll be on the same points, I'd say. It wouldn't matter. So if they've both got 150 points in the bag, then it'll stay at 150 points between those drivers.
Yep, gotcha.
So
yeah, they'll both be on the same amount of points. So that gap will stay.
Yep, and
that
stay
gap
at
will
6
stay
points.
at 6 points. Yeah, so
yep.
It's
Exactly right. So bear with our maths, ladies and gentlemen. We do our best here at Trackstars.
Yeah,
but no, but it's definitely but you can definitely tell it's an exciting championship, DJ, and it's definitely one that we love to commentate on, and it shows that really nice driving in all these drivers. Every driver always has a really interesting way of driving their cars, and we see performances like KPL Baseman, and we see performances like Gorduk 69. They're just having a great run there, and they show really good performance, which is really good to see.
Yeah, it was a very nice performance. It was take my bright pink Nissan GTR for a lap around here.
We're going to do a lap before we call the stream off. That's okay.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? So we go. We've just executed the Rettifilio corners there, coming up towards turn 2 off the Curva Grande, in the second corner off the track. So this is a simple flat out section, and this part of the section, the Della Roggia chicane, is a really tricky one to try and take much of that inside curve at the beginning before you take as much of that inside curve on the right hand side. Coming up to the Lesmo corners, Lesmo 1, turn 4, coming up towards the second Lesmos, turn 5. Easy to run wide in both Lesmo corners, and it definitely can help you get a good exit coming up to the Stellaraggio straight here on turn 6. This is coming up to the famous Valiante Ascari, turn 7 and 8, as we see DJ execute those corners very nicely there. So good job there, DJ. So I'm sure Papa's going to be very happy with you.
Come on!
Papa's going to be happy with your driving.
There's a penalty there.
There we go. So if Papa's still in the chat there, then you can definitely tell he's just not a good driver.
Oh mate,
Getting
look, it's been a bit of a rough season so far. So it's maybe I might drop down to the TS3 series and give these guys a bit of a run.
And then you just execute the Curva Parabolica, and that's a lap here at the Autodromo Monza circuit here, ladies and gentlemen, as we thank you so much for tuning in for the TS3 Championship, where it is bragging rights, shared points between Warpath 360 for WRT Motorsport and Cyric, the 98 privateer driver in the Nissan GTR. So on behalf of myself and Spud P666 and DJ SX Pointed, we will see you in the next few weeks. For the next time you're going to see us, it's going to be endurance racing. So not for these guys in the TS3, but there'll definitely be the support series for the Enduros coming up in 3 weeks' time. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, stick around. If within the next hour, we will have our coverage of the TS2 championships, where we'll see the likes of Mint Matt, Viper Z, Duran 50, even Xylon 96 battling it out here at the Temple of Speed. But for TS3 and for us, for now, we'll catch